How you doing out there, shipheads? Welcome back to Trek Mods. I'm your cheap engineer, Jody LaForgery, and we're looking at a plaque of the NX-01 Enterprise as it appeared on the TV show in its original design and form. And I'm showing you this because I got a side mission today. The NX-01 Re-refit Enterprise, which is the second model that I made, the second model kit that I did. And we're getting a little loose here. Got to fix that up, make it a little more stable. And no soldering involved in this. The ship itself is fine, but my light here for the base, for the moon base, is a little sketchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to dismantle this base here without wrecking the model too much. Take out the batteries. So what I want to do is get this apart, reconnect all the wires with solder this time, and I want to tighten up this post here. This is an extendable post. Maybe I'll even put it down a little shorter, and I might even do some panel lines on the saucer here, on the rest of it, with these fancy Four Candies pencils. I did some on my Excelsior refit and it turned out looking pretty good. I did them on my Discovery Enterprise refit and it turned out a little less good. Maybe I was just a little too sloppy, but I'll give it another shot. What's good about doing it with the pencil is you can clean it off just by erasing it. So let's get to this. Roll that beautiful starship footage. You'll see this. And let's get to repairing this thing. Alright, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over, get the batteries out. I don't want the ship to twist and turn too much on the post there. I don't want to twist the wires apart. As I said, they're kind of sketchy as it is. So I gotta just put that down as far as it goes. Okay, I gotta get in there and pop that off. Alright. Just gonna go at it with this chisel. And try to cradle this and hold it stable so it doesn't break off of there. Okay, it looks like I won't be able to really do that and get any leverage on this. Alright, I just did it. I just busted the saucer section off of the neck. So it looks like I am gonna have to repair that as well. Lesson learned. Leave well enough alone. Okay, so I'm in there. Okay, so two very, very thin wires going up in there. I might even want to change that. Having a hard time unscrewing this because I put a spring right there so that it could put some pressure up against that stem. Obviously my spring wasn't strong enough. There we go. So it didn't come right off, just came unglued on one side, so it's not too huge of an issue. But the issue is getting this undone. Without twisting the wires off. I might just have to sacrifice that. Okay. Piece of heat shrink tubing there for a sheath on the chisel. Okay, so I ended up using a very, very thin wire there. I think I could have gotten away with something a little thicker. I'll try to, there we go. Can remove that. And you see it starts off with a wire like that. Pretty sure I can unscrew this part. The reason I went with such a tiny wire was because of this tiny hole here. but I can just cut that off so that I can use a little bit better of a wire, although it was perfectly fine. So there's not really any reason to change it. It's not where my problem was, but it did force me to not put any shrink tube on that. But what I did was I put I just dipped them in CA glue, so they should be coated. I haven't seen the lights short out on the ship itself, but my lighting wiring on the base itself here was a little finicky. But just to be sure, and because I have a little more experience now and a little more skills since I did this model, so I'm gonna untwist it a little. Just gonna clip it here. So they have like an enamel coating on them. Just gotta get rid of that. Okay, just to be double sure that it still works. Alright, everything's on. Looks like I lost part of the decal here. I wasn't able to spray this with clear coat when I was finished because winter came and I can't spray paint clear coat in my apartment. So I'm waiting for warmer weather. I'll be able to take this outside, spray it down. But it looks like I lost a bit of the decal here. Whatever, not the end of the world. Okay, I gotta try and get that hooked back up. I think I'll use this stuff. Don't have any of those skinny little tips. So I'm gonna take the end of this pipette here. Got a few of those so I can sacrifice one. Alright, there we go. That should help me keep it together. Alright, so I'm just going to try to get some in there without getting too much on the paint. Like that. it looks like I'm gonna have to try to recreate that paint color. Just opening it up a touch so that I can get as much glue in there as possible. See if I can get a little underneath that paint chip and put it back in place. There's a piece chipped up that hasn't broken away. Just get a little here. Okay, looks like I got that repaired pretty decently. It's a little bit of glue there. I'll be able to sand that out. You can't really see up in there much anyways. It's so little. But I can clean up that glue and touch up the paint, and it'll be good as used. Alright, let's get to repairing that base. I'm just going to put this aside to dry. Okay, let's see. Ooh, what do we got? Okay, that goes up to the model. Where are my batteries? Put the batteries in. So, which one is the problematic connection? Oh, I see. This one right here, it just broke off. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to resolder all of them anyways. Because none of my connections are soldered. Although they look pretty sturdy. I got them wrapped and tied around there very well. This one it just simply broke off. Okay, so now that one's got to get back on there. Let's see. The glue. Well, at least it didn't break. Okay, so now I gotta get that back through. Where's my tube? Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that up through. No, I'm not. Okay, so I gotta cut this little threaded piece off. Cutting wheel here. Alright, I can really see how small that is. It's got to be an inserted piece, right? It can't be that little. Alright, I got that out of there. It's gonna fit back up into the model just nicely. Here goes my glasses. Busting my glasses up. Okay, so these wires go up to the model. I'll run that right through. It's giving me a hard time because of the spots here, so I'll go one at a time. Find a small washer or something. Just wish those threads went all the way. And I believe that was supposed to go in there. Let's see, perhaps. No, it's not gonna do it. Okay, so I gotta find a little washer or something that can go on here. Oh, I got tiny little snap rings. Maybe one of those. Alright, even better still, maybe some of this. Alright, so I'm going to put a piece over. Go and shrink it. Okay, put another piece on. I'm going to shrink that. And I'm going to shrink it. Okay, so I'll put another piece on. build that up. Shrink it. Okay, one more. There. Ow. Yeah, I'll just let it cool off for a second. Okay, let's see where we're at. Could probably add another piece on there just to thicken it up. So what I'm trying to do is get a clamp between this point and this point. So this needs to be at least as thick as that. I'm gonna add a couple more pieces of that heat shrink. Go with this yellow one. I think I'll go even thicker than that. I don't think another yellow one will fit over top. Okay, now I can screw that in. Let's just run it through. Should be able to tighten it up pretty securely now. That rubber just squishes right down. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, that's not going anywhere. Ooh, I can still run my wires up. Extend this out. All right, so before I put it back on the post, there's a couple little minor things I want to do. Looks like I lost half the decal there. I could possibly try to paint it. But the thing is, right here, if you can see, so that nacelle looks pretty straight and level. This one's just a little bit leaning back. I'm gonna try to bend the pylon a little bit. I'm gonna warm it up a bit with the heat gun here. Just have to slightly twist it. The tough part will be holding it there for a few minutes until it cools down. Just see if it's bendable. Okay, it's pretty pliable. It's also pretty hot. So I'm just gonna overbend it. Hold it there for a minute or so. Burning my fingers a little bit, but that's okay. Skin grows back. So, not really burning my fingers, but I'm transferring the heat from the plastic to my fingers to cool the plastic. Hopefully it stays where I ask it to. I can see here I'm bending it way more than it needs to go. It's not bad. That looks even enough to me. I don't know, what do you guys think? That level enough? Alrighty. Okay, so I got her in the little cradle here. So I lost that decal. So I'm gonna try to replace it with paint. So just see if I can get this off. Pretty crispy. Alright, I'll do my best to try to recreate that. So we've got sort of a red square with some gaps. We've got dots. I'll start with the dots. Okay, so I've got 8 little dots, which are sort of to the center and to the edges. Okay, so I'm gonna do one still kind of there. We've got a line. two very thin, sort of wiggly lines. I'll just make them kind of straight. It's a little thicker than I want. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, we'll get a dot. We'll get a dot. We'll get a dot. 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 Very thin. Very thin. Sticker, but whatever. That's not great. I think I'll try it with paint instead. Well, I got it out. Let's just see. All right, as we can see, that didn't turn out quite as good as I had hoped that I could do it. Pretty sloppy, so I'm going to try to clean that off, and I'll try again with paint. I figured since I had the markers handy, I might as well give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to start with the yellow. I'm only going to need a drop or two of paint, but it's not easy to mix it when it's just a tiny amount. So okay, so it needs to be slightly brighter. So one drop of this bright yellow. Okay, I'll put another couple drops of this bright yellow in. And I might throw a drop of white. Pretty sure when I mixed up a color similar to this for the phaser turrets and the RCS thrusters on my Excelsior model, I'm pretty sure I put a drop of white in. I mean, that's looking pretty close. See the little dot that I put on there? Barely, so that's good. That'll do. I don't need white, but I do need a better brush. That one's not gonna cut it. Let me just see if I can get that. Okay, well, I can live with that. So we've got two more little tiny yellow streaks just at the lower part of this little hatch. I think I might need a different brush. It's so tiny that there's no paint even coming off the tip. Oh, there we go. We've got four little red dots. It's a little bit better. So that and that. Okay, so black. Wonder if I should just try to use the marker for the black. Try it with the paintbrush. You can always just wipe it off. Okay, so dots intersect Okay, it's too small to even put any paint down on the freaking thing. Okay. Well, that sucks big fatties, but I'll have to live with it. Spent more time than I wanted to on this already. All I wanted to do was rewire the base. I started doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay, I'll put the paint over there so I can spill it with my elbow later. Okay, let's see what I'm dealing with here. Okay, so there's my base. Okay, that's gotta go through. This goes first. Okay, just trying to get it up through there. Switches go there. Just make sure that's really tight. Snappy, snappy. Right, so it's still just getting twisted. That's all I'm gonna do. Actually, gonna have to shorten that. Oh, I guess could probably just bunch up inside the just bunch up inside the post there. Okay, but I'm just twisting it. There's not a lot of room inside that little tube. Hopefully these aren't too big. Shrink down enough. And there's Paco having a drink, as he always does. He's like, oh, you're making a video? get down in there. There. She's back to her former glory. The stand is nice and sturdy. It can move up and down. It can turn on and off. Enterprise NX01 Re-refit. The detail of that dish. Oops. See if my camera can pick some of it up. Oh yeah. You can see the orange in there. You can see the extension that I put in the neck. I added to that neck probably about a 1/4 inch or more. You can see my crystal. You can see my little observation deck windows there out the back. I just used a piece of clear sprue, stuck it in there, painted it up. Awesome. Much better. Much better. I'll just make it a little shorter so it's not so wobbly. Back up on the shelf she goes. Alright, that's my repair job of the NX01 Re-refit. Thanks to everybody who watched it. And thanks to everybody who commented on it. And thanks for everybody who's clicking that little subscribe button. I appreciate anything you guys got to say. I appreciate your viewership. Keep on trekking and we'll see you next time.